In Japanese, there are three writing systems: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Hiragana are the alphabet that the Japanese people use to spell out Japanese words. And there are 46 characters in hiragana. So, for example, words like sushi or konnichiwa are words that you would spell out using hiragana because they originate from the Japanese language and not from a foreign country. Katakana is another alphabet that the Japanese people use. Katakana words are taken from a foreign country. So words like computer or tennis. So these words would be written in katakana. So immediately when you're reading Japanese, the Japanese people like to differentiate between a word that originated from Japanese and a word that originates from a foreign country. And so you can immediately tell by how it's written if it comes from Japan or if it comes from a foreign country. And katakana is really easy for foreign people because they already know the word, such as computer. You just have to pronounce it in a Japanese way. And we'll go over that later some more. Kanji originates from China, and kanji is the actual symbols. Each symbol in kanji represents either a whole word or part of a word. And so in the Japanese language, you will see maybe a kanji next to hiragana, and the hiragana and the kanji together will spell the word out. Kanji is very difficult. It's what makes the writing system in Japanese hard. Most time when you see Japanese, you might see kanji and you think that it looks really cool, but kanji's pretty difficult, and there are thousands of kanji. But the speaking in Japanese is not as hard as you might think, and that's what I'm going to focus on mostly in this podcast. Now there's another way of writing that you will come across, and that is romaji. And romaji is writing Japanese in English, or Roman characters. So our basic alphabet of, A through Z, you would write out the Japanese in our alphabet. And that helps foreigners learn Japanese a lot. I will use romaji in these podcasts because romaji will help you learn how to speak Japanese and pronounce Japanese better. And it will be less complicated to just look at the word and say it. Now, it's also very easy to learn in romaji and then learn hiragana and katakana and kanji, memorize hiragana and katakana, and then when you want to write anything, you can write it in hiragana and katakana. I found a great website to learn hiragana and katakana and to see exactly every character in hiragana and katakana. And you can also go to the website, write them down, practice writing them. It gives you stroke order, it gives you flashcards. So yeah, go ahead and check those out. You can use those web pages to study hiragana and katakana. I suggest that you learn hiragana and katakana on your own time, as fast as you can. I can't really teach them to you. You just have to memorize them. But throughout this podcast, I will use romaji. Learning the pronunciation for the Japanese alphabet is also important to sound Japanese. And we're going to go over pronunciation in different podcasts. But right now, getting the basic Japanese grammar structure is important. Anyways, we're going to start into the first grammar lesson, also known as bunpo. Bunpo. That's how you say grammar in Japanese. And so we're going to head into polite Japanese is what you need to learn at first. It's going to help you be better Japanese speaker overall anyways. So, I will teach polite Japanese to the best of my ability. Okay, we're going to head right into the basic sentence structure of Japanese. And here's an example. Watashi wa Waizu desu. Watashi wa Waizu desu. Watashi refers to yourself, and it means I. Wa is a particle. Des means is, am, are. It means all of those. And des is a verb. Now I said des. That's kind of how we say it in English, but the actual pronunciation is des. Des. If you say desu, that's putting big emphasis on the des, and they don't do that. Women do that a little bit. So when you read either mas or des, remember it's des, not desu. Now Waizu is my last name. My last name is Wise in English, so my name in Japanese would translate to Waizu. Kind of weird translation, but anyways, that's just my name. So this is an introduction. I'm saying I am wise. I am wise. Now, if you're introducing yourself, you do not give yourself a title. It's very rude to give yourself a title in Japanese. So you will just say your last name plain. So again, I'm saying watashi wa waizu desu. And that is the basic sentence structure of Japanese. Now, wa. Wa is a particle. In Japanese, you have things called particles. Particles mark what kind of word it was. So you have subject wa, which is the particle. Wa marks the subject of the sentence. Particles are kind of like flags. You say a word, then you would follow it with a particle which says what that word means in the sentence. And sometimes you'll say a word, they'll say the particle, and they'll have a slight pause in between the particle and the next word. So watashi wa waizu desu. There's a slight pause in between particles and the next word. So you're separating the words. And also wa is signifying, it's a flag for the previous word that you just said. It's saying watashi is the subject of the sentence. Now des is a verb. So here we have the basic sentence structure of Japanese. Of course, waizu, is a noun, a person, place, or thing if you don't know. This is the basic sentence structure of Japanese. We have the subject at the beginning of the sentence, and the wa is marking the subject. We're going to extend on this, but we have whatever in the middle. Then we have the very final word of the sentence is a verb. And you end the verb, and most of the time you'll end the verb with a conjugation, which means past tense, future tense, or like negative. But you end the sentence with a verb. Now Japanese is really easy because once you learn the sentence structure, you'll use the same thing over and over and over and over again. And if you want to say watashi wa waizu desu, then you'll say watashi wa waizu desu. There's not very much variation in their grammar, but as you learn the order, everything in their sentence structure is very orderly, just like the Japanese people are. Their culture is very orderly. And so you can tell what people are saying easily, maybe by the final verb or the subject of the sentence. You can pick things out because of particles. That is the basic sentence structure and grammar lesson for today. Now we're going to go into some vocab. So the first word is watashi. That means I. Desu means it is, am, are. Anata. Anata means you. Karera. Karera. Karera means they. Kodomo. Kodomo. Kodomo means child. Tomodachi. Tomodachi. Tomodachi means friend. Sugoi. Sugoi means amazement or wow. It's a descriptive verb, so it's describing how you feel. Okay, now that we have some more words to work with, we're going to jump back to the grammar lesson. Now, I'm going to say a basic sentence. Anata wa kodomo desu. Anata wa kodomo desu. I said, you are a child. Now, here's a tough one. Sugoi, anata wa tomodachi desu. I said, wow, you are a friend. Wow, you are a friend. Sugoi, anata wa tomodachi desu. Now the sugoi, you exaggerate it. It's fun too. But you will hear sugoi a lot in Japanese, and they use it for all sorts of situations. And that's one thing that's easy about Japanese too, is that there's a lot of words that they use over and over and over. And that's how the form of Japanese sentence structure goes. Okay, well, we're gonna end the lesson for today. Today we learned about 3 writing systems of Japanese. Hiragana, katakana, kanji, and of course there's extra romanji. And we learned about the basic sentence structure of Japanese. We also learned some vocab. Okay, so for your homework, practice the sentence using all of the vocab. Practice it a lot. And then also, if you're very good, and you're hardcore, want to learn Japanese really hard, memorize hiragana before next lesson. If you could do that, good job. And if you already know it, good. It's going to get more difficult. So next lesson, we're going to go over the des box. Also, we're going to go over the particle ka and some more vocab, and we'll have some more.